re-aggravated his hamstring, and then late in the game, Godwin dislocated his ankle when he was tackled by Roquan with about a minute left. Godwin will have surgery and miss the year. Todd Bowles was asked about the decision to keep him in the game late. Take a listen.
He's a player. We're trying to win the ball game. I mean, we were still down 10. We were trying to get extra points and kick another onside kick. It just happened. With Mike going down, we didn't have that many receivers left as it was, so we play what we got. It's unfortunate he got hurt. We feel bad about that, but he's a football player, and he wanted to be in the game, just like Baker and everybody else wanted to be in the game.
Yeah. Any issues?
None at all. And two things. First one is, man, pro football can be a cruel game. Take the injury part out of it. Just from the way a whole, forget game, season can turn. Yep. Tampa's up 7-0, scores, stop Baltimore, scores again. Yep. It says 13-0 on the little score bug, and there's a holding call. Questionable, one of those, you can call it, you cannot call it. Touchdown off the board. Next play, pass to Evans, touchdown. He pulls his hamstring and drops it. And from that moment forward, you feel like that holding call, like their season turned on a Tyndall. Like, Evans now done for however long, and then it leads to all the different turn of events that lead to Chris Godwin having his ankle dislocated. So I just feel sick for Tampa. On the Godwin thing, if you're down 11 or less, you're still in the game if there's more than 20 seconds left. Like, they've shown they can get an onside kick. They were moving the ball. Yep. If they were down 17, then I'd say this is so silly. You're literally have no chance. But when you're down a field goal and a touchdown, you always have a chance if there's more than 10 seconds left. Especially with how good kickers are, everything. Yep. So I was shocked he was criticized for this. To me, the criticism was as if it was 41-21. Right. It was 41-31. You're alive, so you have to go for it. So I thought that was unfair to Bowles.
I totally agree with you. I mean, they grilled him. If you watch the whole thing, like, do you have to protect players from themselves? When somebody asked him, I'm with Nick. They were alive. I mean, obviously, the Ravens let them back in, but at that point, you're alive. You score a touchdown, you get the onside kick, field goal. Now you go into overtime, or you got a chance even to win it. Yeah. And so what I'll say, though, is for the reporters who were criticizing Bowles, are you criticized? Why didn't you ask about Baker? All the other starters were in the game, too. It's kind of what you talk about when you go for it on fourth down.
You play the result.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, they're asking about Godwin because he got hurt. Every other starter was on the field, too. And none of them got hurt. It's football, man. You could get hurt on any place, unfortunately. And so I got no problem with it.
Okay. Can Purdy save the 49ers, who are also very hurt? Next on FS1, the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Let's open it. But its precedent isn't written in stone. We do have to just watch the games and let it play out. And if he's going to play this well and be far out ahead of everybody. Now, right now, Jared Goff, there's an argument that he's right there.
Correct.
But if he pulls away, Lamar pulls away, he's obviously more spectacular, and he clearly deserves it, then I'm fine with it. It'll be a first. I think the first time a guy's won 3 MVPs without a Super Bowl. If he deserves it, I'm good with it.
So listen, the 2-time MVPs, guys that didn't get to 3, 2-time MVPs who won their second before winning a Super Bowl, Lamar, Steve Young, that was the list of the guys who ended it too. Mm-hmm. Here's the full, so he joined Steve Young on that last year. The other 2-time MVPs, Patrick, Kurt, and Joe Montana, all obviously won a Super Bowl before. I'm talking about before you get your second MVP. Right. The 3-time MVPs, here's what it looks like. Now, Brett Favre and Jim Brown and Peyton won their second, like Lamar did, before they got their third before they got a Super Bowl. No one has ever won a third league MVP before they were a champion. No one ever. Yeah. And so that's the precedent Brew is talking about. With that said, because Wilds, what do they call me?
Mr. Consistency.
And I try to be consistent, but sometimes I feel differently across sports. So I feel like the NBA MVP has more of a historical resonance than the NFL MVP, because there isn't a Sean Alexander, Rich Gannon, the kicker who I wanted
Mosley,
and Mark Mosley. That doesn't. The NBA MVP to me is as prestigious of an individual honor as there is in all of sports, aside from maybe the Heisman Trophy. The NFL MVP I think is awesome, but not quite that caliber. So I'd be fine with it. If Lamar, if Lamar's awesome, my whole question about Lamar has to do with a part of the season that the MVP is not for. It's just
It is
truly a regular season award. There isn't. And again, I know it feels like it's conflicting with some of my basketball takes. I can just be honest with you. I look at the awards differently. I look at the precedent differently. I look at the importance differently. And I also, you guys know I didn't like the Mahomes, Allen, Brady, Manning stuff because I'm like, no, Patrick's both. He's the winning of Brady and the MVPs of Manning. I would find it kind of charming and cool if in this latter phase or the mid phase of each of these guys' career, we do get a Brady Manning situation where Patrick is a real rivalry where Patrick is like the winner guy. And you know what I mean? The stats are some, and the other guy is racking up all these numbers and all these stats, but can he beat him? Because right now, you mentioned the different rivals. Mahomes is yet to have an actual rival. So if Lamar wins back-to-back MVPs while Patrick has won back-to-back Super Bowls, that is a very unique situation. And Lamar's been awesome. And we'll get to it later in the show, I have massive questions about the Ravens and huge concerns, and I don't understand why everyone shared my concerns in January, and now they're all gone. I don't get that piece of it. But what he's doing right now is spectacular.
This reminds me, and you brought up the NBA, of Joel Embiid last year. So he won that MVP 2 years ago. A lot of people thought it should have went to Jokic. Embiid fizzles out in the playoffs, so people think there's no way he's getting this MVP. I felt that way. He's not getting the MVP this year. He was so good, though. He was averaging 35 points, 11 boards, almost 6 assists, shooting 39% from three. Before he got hurt, and that's why he didn't have a chance to win it, I was like, he's the MVP right now. It's just undeniable, and that's where Lamar's at. He's playing so well. It just wouldn't be fair at this point.
Hold on, to be clear, and I don't think you're saying this either. I think right now there is a very good case for gold.
Yeah,
it's a real race, but I don't think he's disqualified from winning it.
Okay.
I mean, it's interesting. He wins it. Never mind. We can have it later. Wins it. The playoffs go poorly again. Is he disqualified? Can he win 3? So they're going to be a very interesting
He's playing the best of his. He's playing better than his first MVP.
100%.
And that was a great.
No, he's playing great.
Phenomenal.
There's no questions about it. He is playing great, and all the leadership stuff that I sling at Rodgers because he's not. Lamar is.
Absolutely.
No questions.
I'm sure he'll be on top of Mahomes Mountain.
Too.
No, listen. Until
I would think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's another quarterback you'd rather have until January. I don't. I just don't.
High-flying Bucs came crashing down to earth. First, Mike Evans re-aggravated his hamstring, and then late in the game, Godwin dislocated his ankle when he was tackled by Roquan with about a minute left. Godwin will have surgery and miss the year. Todd Bowles was asked about the decision to keep him in the game late. Take a listen.
He's a player. We're trying to win the ball game. I mean, we were still down 10. We're trying to get extra points and kick another onside kick. It just happened. With Mike going down, we didn't have that many receivers left as it was, so we play what we got. It's unfortunate he got hurt. We feel bad about that, but he's a football player, and he wanted to be in the game just like Baker and everybody else wanted to be in the game.
Yeah. Any issues?
None at all. And 2 things. First one is, man, pro football can be a cruel game. Take the injury part out of it. Just from the way a whole, forget game, season can turn. Tampa's up 7-0, scores, stop Baltimore, scores again. It says 13-0 on the little score bug, and there's a holding call. Questionable, one of those, you can call it, you cannot call it. Touchdown off the board. Next play. Pass to Evans. Touchdown. He pulls his hamstring and drops it. And from that moment forward, you feel like that holding call, their season turned on a Tyndall. Evans now done for however long, and then it leads to all the different turn of events that lead to Chris Godwin having his ankle dislocated. So I just feel sick for Tampa. On the Godwin